everybody. My name is Phoenix, aka Coach Tiffany J, and I am part of the Punani Power Retreat team. And want to introduce my other team members.
Hey!
Yay. We have Taluli, the Divine Lady near her side, and Zaire. You say hey, Zaire.
Hey!
So today we are interviewing the amazing, the phenomenal 1111 coach, Miss C.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello. I'm awesome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for inviting me. I apologize. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, it's our pleasure. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Thank you for agreeing to come to the Punani Power Retreat to share your gift with us. We're super excited. And we just wanted to ask you a few questions, and we're going to take turns and kind of do a roundtable discussion and just talk about you and your gift and your craft and what you have to offer, and also get your take on Punani power and sexuality as far as women embracing their sexuality.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yes.
I'll go ahead and kick it off. What does Punani power mean to you?
Okay, so wow, that's a great question. What does Punani power mean to me? I think that it's respect. I think that it's respect for your, like the power. All right, so the Punani power is actually, it's a gift, right? So I guess like Punani power is like respect for that gift and utilizing it in a way that is most beneficial, not only for you, for others as well, in a way as much as you possibly can. I guess that's what I'm saying. As much as you can.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. How do you think, like, with your what you offer with the EFT, how do you feel like the EFT will benefit us at the Punani Power Retreat? Like, do you have like a certain mantra, a certain, intention that you set for channeling that energy and including the tapping into that with the womb healing?
Okay, so like with EFT, what I basically do is I teach my clients how to use EFT to do what they love. So with EFT is sort of like acupuncture without the pins, and basically what it is it's like you're moving the energy. So it's a fun way to circulate your energy. It's a fun way to help you focus. So like the way I would incorporate it into womb wealth is, I guess, like to start a dialogue with your womb and with your heart as well. To start a dialogue, to begin to understand the power that you carry, like the Punani power that you carry, and maybe how you might have been using it, misusing it, and how you can use it more beneficial. Okay, so what I would do is I would basically start a conversation. So now with the EFT, basically what I like when we go to the event, when we have the event, what I want to do is I want to help us to take responsibility for the power. So it would be, we're denouncing mistreatment, the mistreatment that we've done, all of the chaos, all of the harm that we've done to our womb. It's like, all right, so take responsibility for it, denounce it, and then choose something else. So it'll go something like this. It'll go, I am no longer, if you know the Kemet, where they say, I am no longer desecrating my body, I am no longer, so those statements, it's almost like you're taking responsibility for the things that you've done, and even maybe for some of the things that your ancestors have done as well. Because a lot of stuff, what I noticed, like a lot of things that, a lot of the womb things that I have been through, it's been in my family line. Like all the women have been through it. So you can you know how when they say take responsibility for the situation, it's almost like you take back your power. So that's what I want to do. I want to help us to take back our power and just get into the flow of our own womb thoughts. Like, what is your womb? Like, what does your womb want to eat? Like, so like we know what we want to eat, right? But what does your womb want to eat? You can ask your womb that. You can ask your womb to attract the foods. I do it all the time. I be like, I don't know what I want to eat. So you just attract what I should eat, and your womb will do that. Your body can do that too, you know. And the questions, like you know, like what we learn in the enlightenment circle, you know, it's about the questions that you ask. So once you start asking those questions, they will be answered. And a lot of times I ask questions and they get answered in the enlightenment circle, which is perfect. So one thing I was doing was like to prepare for the event was I was completely concerned with what is blocking me from helping other women, and it's basically the guilt. And as you can see this week, this is what we have been talking about. That's what I've been working on all last week. So to see us come up with and talk about it, so I'm like, this is a big issue. So when we get to the event, the thing that I really want to focus on is us really forgiving ourselves for the trauma that we caused to our body out of ignorance.
Right.
And and then sometimes just not caring, and just so we can take back our power and just realign ourselves with that womb energy, because our womb is it's where it's like that's like our center, and that's where everything. The condition of our womb matches the condition in our universe. So if we can start to hear the voice of our womb a little bit more, and like even like what I've learned just from taking like the sessions with Dr. Jiwa, the best sessions, like our womb has a voice, your heart has a voice, and I didn't know that before. And like to hear like the distinction so that you can understand, So that's what I'm hoping that when we come together, that the ladies will be able to to understand, like there's a different tone to your womb, like a different tone in the voice from your womb and your heart.
Okay. There's a second part to that question I was going to ask you, because you talked about the I was trying to move the screen. You talked about it being acupuncture, like you working with the acupuncture points, but you wouldn't actually tap in your womb area. You would still tap like your facial area like you do with any tapping.
For that, all right, so there is a way, like you can tap on the side. You can tap on the side. When I'm doing a session, yeah, it's specific points that I tap on, but mostly we'll do like heart tapping.
Okay.
Because you speak to your heart, and that message will go down into your womb. Your womb will speak. Will answer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Your womb will answer.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For our viewers that have no clue as to what EFT is, can you just give a brief description to enlighten?
Yes, I can. So, all right. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's like 5,000 years old. It's it's an old Chinese homeopathic method. It's like a coping mechanism, and it's like what they call it's like the psychology. It's like the psychology of now, and it's something that you can. It's something that you can do on your own. Like even children can do it. It's so safe. And what you do is you tap on specific energy vortexes, and these vortexes, they hold energy sometimes in them, and the energy gets stagnant. So, and if it's no free movement through these specific points, then that'll affect your chakra lines. And you know that when your chakras are out of alignment, everything's out of alignment. But when you tap, you get that energy flowing, and you can remove stagnant energy. And the energy that are within these specific points, they actually carry a vibration of a story that you might have had from your from your youth, or even from a past life. And that story is consistently playing over and over and over. So when you tap, and you can actually redirect the energy, repattern the energy, change the story. It's so many things that you can do. I incorporate the law of attraction into it. I incorporate focus. If you want to focus on a goal, like you can use it to amplify your your affirmations. You can use it to amplify your mirror magic. I know this went to mirror magic class. I know everyone's in the group and it's into mirror magic now. But that's basically what it is. It's a fun way. So it's a fun way to help you focus, get the energy going. And then what it is that it's about getting the conversation out around your emotions, right? So something like, so you feel this emotion as you tap, you can speak to yourself. You can be like, let's say, oh my God, I can't believe I woke up late. You know what I mean? Why am I always late? I hate being late. And you start the conversation with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And as you start to practice that, you'll be able to find out what is going on. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be able to find out. So sometimes, it's a good way to vent. It's a good way to vent, and so you can get all that negative energy out, and then you can repattern it with a positive, with positive statements. Mm-hmm. With positive statements. So,
love it.
I hope I explained it properly. Yeah.
What got you into EFT?
I had a lot of anger issues and a lot of anxiety issues, and I couldn't focus. I was having trouble focusing. So I was in this group, and actually I was in this group because I had checked myself in for marijuana, right? I had checked myself into this group because I had wanted to stop smoking marijuana. So I was an inpatient, and when I was an inpatient, they had introduced me into tapping. And the whole point was to get me to, anytime I wanted to smoke, it was like, we'll tap and figure out exactly what is causing you to smoke. Wow. You know what I mean? So that was one of the ways. And then also when I got before I started getting into yoga, they was teaching me how to line up my energy using EFT first, and then go and do your practice, because I was not. Because, going from Christianity to yoga was hard for me. You know what I mean? It was really, really hard. So that was a way for me to, to get into the group. Like, this is okay. This is okay. You know what I mean? It's okay for me to do this. I'm not, breaking any rules or anything by doing yoga, like what I was doing. So it's to help to, you know what I mean? To help with those thought patterns, that we have been programmed with. It really does help to repattern. Like, you're still going to have those thoughts, but it's the energy that it carries that it starts to lessen. The energy it starts to lessen until you start to notice when you have that thought, you'll be like, I don't feel anything. And then all of a sudden the thoughts are gone. And I just be talking about it, I can feel myself, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so truthful, I can feel stuff dropping off me right now. It's a great way. You can actually conduct energy with it. I know that you ladies are into wands and stuff like that. I'm learning how to use my wand. Like, I just bought a wand when I was in Ohio. I'm learning how to use my wand. Using the EFT and holding your wand, like doing the EFT, really helps for you to conduct energy. And it's just like so much. Like, I love EFT, and I'm like, I really do. I love EFT, and I'm getting really into it. I'm like, so many. It's a great technique to learn for yourself, because once you learn it, you don't have to pay anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, once you learn it, that's it. This is like an antidote that you just do anyway. You can use it for. There's different techniques you do to protect yourself when you're in a large crowd. I mean, so many different ways that you can use it. I can go on and on and on. You can use it if you have different type of phobias, like if you're scared of heights, if you're afraid of spiders. Like, I've seen them do so many different things with EFT. I've seen them do so many different things.
Wow.
I love your passion. I love your passion for it.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's contagious.
Right.
Yes.
So how many sessions, or how often would you say one would need to do EFT tapping in order to actually see some results in whatever it is that they want?
I say you got to do it every day. I say every day, at least 1 to 3 times or more a day, depending on how serious that whatever it is that you're working on. Like, if you're trying to achieve a goal, you know what I mean? Then you might want to do it 3 to 5 times a day. You might want to do it when you wake up in the morning, before you go to sleep, at lunchtime, and a couple times in between. because you want to, because it helps you to align. It helps you to align your thoughts, because you know everything starts in our thoughts. So as soon as you notice a thought, get that energy going. Like, you know, don't stop it. You know how they say when you cry, when you have to cry, get it out. When you need, if you know you feel the negative energy come on, you have to rant. Like, you have to get it out. You know, you want to get that energy out, and EFT is a great way for you to just be like, you know, I mean, like, I've been in sessions where they had, like, you know, cussing EFT sessions to get it out, because you know, like, if they had like a really, really bad day, everybody, you know, then it's like, you know, who had a bad day, get it out first, and then let's go to the positive, because energy is energy, right? The only thing that we're doing is transmuting it. So it's almost like, you know, you're taking that negative energy and you're transmuting it. Okay. So it's a great way, and it's really, really fast and really, really effective. And sometimes, you know, I have to catch myself, and I have to, like, pay attention. I have to make sure that I don't get too ahead of myself, because, you know, you get excited, you know, and then you just be like, you know, then you start making mistakes because you think that you did stuff already. You know what I'm saying? Because you did it in your EFT, but you ain't make the physical step yet. But in your head, you already did it. So now you missed. So then, you know, I think, well, I missed that. I'm like, I thought I did that already. Then it was like, no, you did that in the session, and when you were doing the tapping. So that's what, but it's really, really fun, and it's safe. Unless, the only thing I say is that if you are on medication, or if you have been diagnosed by a doctor with any type of psychological problems, then you want to tell your doctor first, because it is energy. And if you are using, you know, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say if you're using it. I'm just saying if you're on medication that affects you psychologically, then this might not be for you. You probably should go and talk to your doctor first and get permission, because I don't know what could happen. I'm not on medication, so I'm not sure what could happen. And I know it is energy, and if you tap along your triple warmers, you can actually feel the electricity in your body. There's electricity in your body. I don't know how that works with medication, because I'm not a doctor. So that's the only thing I would advise, that you definitely go get professional advice if you are if you're on medication, or if you've been diagnosed with any type of psychological issue.
Okay, so if you are, since like this thing is going to be, you know, dealing with, you know, Punani, you know, womb healing and stuff like that. So I've noticed that when you do EFT, you will, you know, speak on the things like, example for like the womb healing, like, I hate it when he touched me, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have to go to the negatives first before you start tapping into the, you know, things like, oh, my yoni is like so vibrant, you know, my yoni, you know, produces all of the hormones that it needs to produce, whatever, you know, you say. But do you have to I guess go to the negative experience first while tapping before you get to like the positive taps? Like, so do people have to like relive experiences first?
See, all right, so now that's the thing. All right, so now it depends on what is your goal. So we say affirmations, right? So we say affirmations, blah blah blah. So like when we're saying affirmations, right, the reason why we're saying affirmations is because we want a specific outcome. We're looking for a specific result. So if you're saying womb affirmed affirmations and you're not seeing the result or the outcome that you want, then that means that you're gonna have to go deeper, which means that you will have to have that conversation with yourself. But what's so great about EFT is that you don't have to, it's something that can be done privately. It's not something that has, you know what I mean? It's something that you can do on your own. Like, you don't have to do it in the crowd. So like when we do an EFT in the crowd, what I'll do is I'll say random statements, right? That the whole would appreciate, right? And I'll make sure I give you a PDF for that. So if you practice it, once you start to practice, like you'll notice other thoughts will be popping up in your head. So that's where it comes. So you take maybe like the example I gave you, right? And you practice the example, and then you'll start to understand the conversation that comes up. And I know that is a big deal. That's a big deal, you know, having to relive the past, which is something that I definitely try to avoid, which is why most of the time when I tap, I'm gonna be honest, most of the time I tap on the positive side unless I'm looking for a specific result, I'm looking for a specific goal, and I see that if it's not coming, then I'll go deeper into it. Or if I'm in the moment with it and I see that the emotion is already there, and then it's like you might as well relive it. So it's almost like if you feel that the emotion is already there, like if once it's activated and you already feel like, you know what I'm saying, like you're already in it, you might as well have a conversation with yourself. But like I said, what the beautiful thing about it is that you can do it on your own, so you don't have to be in front of people and being embarrassed. So I think that it'll be easier for women to do it that way. It's like, you know, just like with journaling and writing it, and as opposed to sitting down in a group, and a lot of times, you know, they don't want to, relive all of those things. So that's what I suggest. If you're sitting in an EFT session and you don't, they're not saying what, like the thoughts that you, or the feelings, like they're not tapping on the exact thoughts and feelings that you're experiencing, don't worry, because when you go home, you can take that script, and when you practice, you can actually say those statements yourself, like your personal statements, and it will work. So that's why I say I teach you how to do that. So once you hear the script that I use, you could be like, okay, if that statement doesn't fit, what fits? Say that statement, say that thought that actually arises.
Right.
I absolutely love that, Mystique. I absolutely love that. I know we have just a little over 2 minutes left, so we want to kind of wrap it up just a little bit. Lady Herzog, were you going to say something?
Well, yeah, I was going to say I definitely can see her passion for it, and her enthusiasm with it. It's always great to love what it is that you do, and I'm just looking forward for the Punani Power Retreat. So
I got something for y'all. Y'all gonna love this. I got something for y'all.
So I got something for y'all. Happen in person. And if you want to go ahead and give out your information, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. If they want to have a session with you, this is your opportunity right now. Just let them know how they can connect with you.
Okay, yes, you can go to TiffanySatchell.com. That's TIFFANY Satchell SATCHEL.com, and you can schedule a session with me. I have tons of this up on YouTube. I do EFT on Instagram. I do EFT on Facebook. And I'm starting an EFT group on Patreon that's really inexpensive. And like I said, once you learn the technique, then at that point, after that, the only thing that you're going to want to do is your whole point in showing up for the group is to learn new scripts. You know what I mean? It's to learn what else you can do with your script. Once you learn how to do it, it's just like, just new different ways. Like I use imagery with it. I do so many things. EFT is so easy.
That's awesome.
So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining, guys.
Love you guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.
And remember that Punani Retreat is coming up.
Yes, Punani Power Retreat, eventbrite.com, Labor Day weekend. And y'all don't want to miss this. Between Kaisi, Coach Mystique, the 1111 coach, and Nicole, it's going to be the bomb, y'all. So join us.
Yes.
All right. See y'all soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.